Hello everyone, we're back with the Great Ace Attorney with the start of the final case. It is I have looked up and it's very long. Basically there's just videos on YouTube of the whole thing, right? So I looked, case 4 was I think about 6 hours long. Case 5 is 10 hours. I figured it would be a huge one, right? And the final case is usually the best one, right? Like almost always. Well, maybe always. So I'm looking forward to it. Like, I think I wouldn't say this game has had a bad case so far, although I think like 2 and 1 are like a lot weaker than 3 and 4 are. But come on, it's not going to be a tutorial case. Oh right, I should mention before we get going. So this video will probably come out in early November. That's when the Fate Grand Order like blacklist on uploading ends for the part I'm at. I do have a huge backlog of that, like 30 videos I think. So I'm going to be back and forth between that and Great Ace Attorney probably, and Chaos Shroud if I remember to upload that. So just, if you see bad videos you don't want to watch, that's how it is. Sorry. Adventure the Unspeakable Story. The Hound of the, see, I know that one. Hound of the Baskervilles. A hound it was, but not such a hound that any mortal has ever seen. That's not a short story, right? It's the main one.
Sholmes' cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited breathlessly.
Hold on, let me wait for this to finish.
The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its
I'm unfamiliar with the actual novel. Is it? Is there actually a hound? I mean, there's gotta be, right?
Pant and hideous howl. So terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear.
I'm gonna guess the hound gets framed for the murder.
Wilson, Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. For this is the diabolical hound of the Baskervilles.
Oh, that's the name of the book. Gonna get an anime cutscene now? No, okay. You're right. So I did want to mention while I check my hard drive space, I have 18 gigs, perfect. I did kind of, sort of get a spoiler. Kind of like it's something that was in plain view. Anyone could have noticed it. I just didn't. If I had a bigger backlog at the time, I would have noticed it. But I was trying to make a thumbnail, right? I had to put Sholmes' assistant Wilson in there, Iris Wilson. So I just typed Ace Attorney Wiki Wilson. So I could go to the image gallery and just grab a picture of her real quick while looking at nothing else. It's very hard not to get spoiled by that, by the way. But oh, I did see also, I believe Natsume's in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles or whatever. Or there's another sprite of him. He looked happy. So I'm assuming that's him in 2. Or maybe he shows back up in this game. Anyway. I googled Wilson. I assume all of you know where this is going. So Iris writes under the pseudonym John H. Wilson, right? Who is, and she has a medicine doctorate or whatever. The victim of case 1 was named John H. Wilson. And he was a professor in medicine, I believe, right? I think it was medicine. I went back and looked at my video for his name just to double check, because on the wiki I clicked, oh, John H. Wilson. I was like, oh yeah, Wilson, yeah, of course. And it was a picture of him. I was like, wait, what? So I heard backed away. I was like, oh no, don't spoil me. So that's gotta be irrelevant. And wait, oh my god. Remember how I was guessing that Giselle Brandt was gonna come back and kill Iris because, or like try to kill Iris because the name Giselle Brandt refers to the bullet that shot Watson in the novels? She poisoned. And did she also shoot him? She did, yeah. So I assume that's like Iris's father or something? If Iris does not actually have a PhD, I'm going to be happy. She's just impersonating her dad. So this is all information, I could have realized if I was a little bit smarter. Like, I think a commenter even mentioned in like case 2, like, oh yeah, by the way, Watson is named Wilson. I could have remembered it then, but I just, yeah. Our first 2 months in London flashed by in a pass. Okay, we got a time skip. Wait, how far away was the Crystal Tower? That disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown in on the day we first arrived in the country. Soseki-san's terrible ordeal that it would follow closely behind would emerge victorious. However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court. Okay, we didn't get any. Okay, I was wondering if maybe we just got like a boring, oh yeah, you got a divorce case, which is hardly surprising, of course. So I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until now. Until shattered one day by that fateful telegram. From Japan? Mikotoba? 15th of April, 9 a.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Is it gonna be all decorated now? Who's there? I think it's a little decorated. That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. Okay, so they just had people who ran up and like gave telegrams to people? I never really thought about that before. But what's that say on the door? That's Japanese. Says something. But after he'd gone, Susato-san's behavior became obviously strange. Susato-san? Yes! Is it time to leave for court already? Yeah, we got a big new case. Let me see, what case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I? Oh, no, of course not. How silly of me. I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning. Shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite? Yes. Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? Once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form. Let me see. What case is it today? Here we go again. Wait, the telegram. So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. A telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, come on. Was it a letter? Oh, yeah, Kazuma's alive, by the way. Don't tell Yonosuke. We're gonna troll him a little. Like, that's why Kazuma's pretending to be dead. He just thinks it's a funny prank. Or he's gonna upload it to his YouTube channel. So, but you're not gonna get away with that. Well, I don't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. Oh, really? It's nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. We're not gonna find out until we write it, like, before the trial begins when it's important information. Just a boring old telegram. It's 3 times now that she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing. Promise that I'll tell you about it at some point. Alright, I understand. No, I do not. Soseki-san. Suppose he'll have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. You know, how long would it take to send a telegram from like Japan to Britain? To my understanding, they had like wires going through the ocean by that point, right? So like they could. Was that like a? I don't know. Would that take minutes, hours, days? I've actually got no clue. I mean, he should have completed the voyage already. Just be a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had a very long telegram from him. Remember? Complaining of seasickness. By and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Although, how would they send a telegram on a boat? Like, do they have a wire just stretching with the ship? Telegrams are weird to me. Something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Just wondering, what might have become of Soseki-san had he stayed in London? That's all. You mean, as regards Lord Van Ziegs, the Reaper? Yes, can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case. The Reaper. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Come on, that wasn't him, probably. where that nightmarish trial ended on the very day we arrived in London. Been 2 months on? Cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. At least Oseki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably, that means the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps? Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. Terrible sense of foreboding. Okay, look, I saw him happy with the cat. He lives, hopefully. Maybe that was an imposter. The legend of the Reaper is to be believed. It would mean he wields the sword of justice himself. Come to think of it, wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely, not wielding that sword against some more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently Lord Van Ziggs hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter. Oh? Because we're rivals. Yeah, since Oseki-san's trial, he's withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. Should've been me who's had to face him in his recent spate of trials then. Ah, just my luck. I wonder if we're ever gonna meet another lawyer. Like, non-prosecutor, like a defense attorney. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry, what was that? Oh, nothing. Never mind. Because we're besties. Okay, I guess we can move now. Wonder if all that was optional. Oh, hold on. Anything worth examining here? This desk. The telegram. Let's see. Ah, dang it. I won't. Pumpkin? Is that a pumpkin? Like a tiny pumpkin? Door? Ever even seen you inside your room there, Susato? Never even peeped in. That's a weird thing to say. Wait! Oh, come on! It's right there, Gabe! What's in the books? Taking MS is a small sacrifice to pay for being able to further your studies. Okay. Yeah, let's move on to Sholmes' suite. 15th of April, Sholmes' suite. Hello. Morning, Runo. Morning, Susie. Good morning, Iris. Is that Holmes playing? He's very good. Iris? What is it, Runo? What is that terrible noise? It's like a cat being strangled. Yes, you noticed that, did you? Look at him go. Charlie isn't in the best form this morning, it seems. Hello. He's dead. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Good morning. A good morning. To die, perhaps. Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blanched existence. Blanched? Blanched? Blanched sounds cooler. That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. I'm afraid I don't understand. Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble. Cat? It's Blanca! It's Blanca! Okay, I don't think that's Blanca or Blanca. That's the name of the cat, right? Look, it's Wagahai. Is that Soseki's cat? Good morning, boy. Must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. How did it get there? Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris. It would indeed be a fine day to die. Do something look different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. I looked at this background just a couple days ago making that thumbnail. I thought it was like there's like a big invention thingies. That's what they're called, invention thingies. Doctor. Wanting to die. I'm very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What happened? Used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. The melodic tones would make flowers bloom. What? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? For hours, I have bowed. For days, even. Through the night I have endeavored, to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone. Gone forever! No more recitals of unbridled emotion! Oh, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley? They say every day you don't practice, you gotta practice for 3 days to get back what you lost. Or I'm sure I'll come back to you in time. Like, I don't know if that's actually true or not, but... Heed my words, no, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man. The next, they unmercifully withdraw it. Hey, remembered our name. All it took was 2 months. Oh, dear. Ah, why is it happening to me? They take the turn I have with the violin from me. What is left, for pity's sake? What is left? Your analytical mind? Deduction, perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? The missing machine. Yeah, there was, okay, there was a machine. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but... Your desk looks rather empty today. Well done, Miss Suzato. Your observational skills do you credit. Oh no, Mr. Sholmes. They pale to insignificance when compared to yours. Struggle not to notice, wouldn't you? It's something I really like about this game. It has like... What do you call this? Slice of life scene? Like with most Ace Attorney games, right? You get right to the trial, that's it, bam. Or, you know, everything is obviously leading up to a trial. Like a, you know, like 2-4, you go with Maya to like a convention or something, and like 10 minutes later she gets kidnapped. You mean Hurley's great analytoscope? That's a Windy Banks now. Sorry? Is that a Windy Bank? No, Windy Banks, the pawnbrokery. What? You mean you pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see? Quite undeservingly. But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. But I've gladly passed what little income I have to you. Dear madam, things are far from desperate. But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate? Making use of a pawnbroker is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? Doesn't sound ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. Oh! Just understand exactly? How pawnbroking works? Is this going to be relevant to the kids? What did you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? The people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks. Banks? On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to the pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in turn, they're able to trade happily through the week. Then on Saturdays, they go to recover their things using the money they've earned. No idea, but a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see? Especially people in inner London. Though they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn, should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious! That's word for it. Whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it out with the windy banks, you see? A pawnbroker can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. You would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain. Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. In Japan, you basically just sell the thing for it. Like, you know. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Because pawn shops still work like that, right? At least I think they do. Don't you, Hurley? What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. Oh, hello. Maybe we shouldn't examine the table. There's a desk, it's completely clear. That's a new expression. Okay. Oh yeah, I was told apparently the VR is actually in a Sholmes short story. Stands for Victoria. Was there always a right here? I never noticed it before, I think. Typewriter. So this is Iris's half, this is Sholmes' half? Okay. In Victoria, like Regency or something? I don't really get why he shot it into his wall. I don't really get why, but you know. Mr. Natsume's cat. Okay, yeah, it is. Seems to have settled into his new home then. Oh yes, I'm very attached to little Waggy. Waggy? Here his previous owners completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their mews as empty as the hearts of the muses. Mr. Natsume had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan. I didn't wonder why I kept him in the first place. Waggy. Like Waggy more. I think he would have taken him if he could. But pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience. And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. Well, I don't mind. Waggy is adorable. Or what if the cat is the victim? Or the culprit? He really is. Oh, yes, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from? Oh, you noticed? You're observant, you know? Look, I use this. It's my latest invention, the pet door maker. What is that? I call it the cat flapomat. Is this gonna be relevant to the case? Gosh, a machine for making doors? Just for cats? That's right. I make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. I do it in any door at all, no matter what it's made of. Very powerful. You see, this has to be relevant to the case. Would it have been quicker just to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap? Well, yes, maybe. But now that I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. I think it's wonderful. Let's make one for us in the door of our office upstairs, Iris. She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, girl. Oh, okay. What was that? Bugger hide? Oh. The cat just died! What was that? Oh no! Well guys, tangled up in your violin! The violin murder. I think he thinks it's a toy. No! What's he doing to it? Oh dear. Here Sholmes' precious violin. Why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised. The cat is a more accomplished musician than I am now. Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he? Well, anyway, I'll put it back here where it lives. Shall I, Hurley? Out of the cat's reach, if possible. We should assess the damage. Oh, where is this going? Is the violin relevant to the case? The violin, is it? Is the murder gonna happen here? The Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I see. Doesn't really look like anything special to me. I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, and was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today, it's been my faithful companion in every great Paganini-inspired performance I have made. I ask you, I know Paganini's a violinist. I know that. Is there a reason to live in a world devoid of music to tolerate this blanched existence? No! There is none. Mr. Sholmes? What, dear madam, what? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine. Well, about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? What do you mean, Miss Susato? Well, Susie's right. Yes, the tone of wood is completely different. Someone stole the violin! That's not all. Sure, there's no crack here before. Wait, it's not even the right size, is it? What's this? Terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but an instrument isn't a violin at all. What? What? It's a cello. Well, cellos are bigger, aren't they? Believe? It's an entirely different instrument called a viola. I do not know what the difference is. What? Sholmes is the victim. Susato killed him. Mr. Sholmes, you're right. You're quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. So what, pray, is this piece of string flotsam, whatever you call that? Not your faithful performing partner, then? I see what must have happened. You do, Iris? This is just a simple mix-up. Look, Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. What, did they pawn the violin before and then they got back the wrong one? Right. Okay, Iris. Mix-up. What did you mean by mix-up, Iris? You see, this violin, by this viola, I mean, was at Windibanks until last week. At the pawnbrokers? Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner. There's a proverb from the East, with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel. Yes, indeed. You sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers. Hope you'll experience personal growth. What a wonderful idea. Last week, I pawned my great analytoscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it would appear Mr. Windibank mistakenly furnished me with a tawdry fiddle instead. Aren't violins and fiddles the same thing? Isn't it just how you play it? My ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. Pshaw, a fine state of affairs this is! And why I always say, Mr. Norioto, never trust a pawnbroker. They'll try to fiddle you every time. Ha ha ha. Earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbroker as an extremely secure vault. Sorry. Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry? Crunching your toast with a vacant aspect? Freshing your coffee so obtusely. Fressing? No, what is fressing? Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which we are faced? Must visit Mr. Windibank's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes? Precisely, Miss Susato. Without a moment's delay. But finish my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely you do not intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect, to fress your eggs ever more obtusely. What is fress? Alright, say no more. Let's go then. Don't worry, you know. Be happy to heat it up for you again later. Oh, thank you, I guess. As it happens, rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker's looks like. Okay, I don't. How far are you? 30 minutes, jeez, okay. Why is Baker Street a location? I guess go here first because. Okay, it's outside. Okay, I see. Or for rent nearby, closed. A pawnbrokery. This place looks nice. 12:15, yeah. Is that a sign in Japanese? This is a British pawnbrokery. I can't tell. Maybe that's just cursive. No, that's not cursive. There are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on before. Sato-san, spark of wonder in your eye. Can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? Get the impression you enjoy places like this? Oh yes! Don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill to me. My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you're no longer hot. We're calling on matters of business, not pleasure. Clearly, Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, sir. Welcome back. Do you hear that brazen welcome? Oh, yes. We're potential customers, after all. We're disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to inform Mr. Windibank of our ire. Come! A fight is afoot. Is Windibank a Holmes reference? Any ladders in here? You see any ladders? Calendar. The horn? Is that like triggered to go off when someone comes in? I don't see how it could be. That's not a phone. Bunch of clocks, okay. Hello. Violin. Naturally, you recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes. This second-hand fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Windibank. Color of the wood is different, there's holes in it, it's not even the same size. A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me, an inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There's only one way to make amends. Seppuku. Oh, he's going. Oh, wait, is he gonna... He's actually doing it. I shall have to take my own life. Do it then. I don't think that will be necessary, do you? If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Yes? So I got a text message. It was you, sir, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe. Sorry. As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin. When I heard, here it is. You did? And when I turned to controvert you, you're taking the viola and left, sir. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for leaving you to leave, allowing you to leave. I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me. If he actually did it, I would... I would respect the developers of this immensely. No, stop, my dear fellow. The fault is mine. Phew. It would appear that the fight is over. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Windibank. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Sherlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition, would you? Haha, I do believe you may be right, sir. Ha 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 ha! Either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I need to remind you of your peculiar collection of items you brought through my door in the past. Oh? Peculiar items? In the extreme, ma'am. For example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Sherlock Sholmes or some such. Oh my, a new full-fledged novel? And unpublished? So you have yet to read, you mean? Ah, forgive me! Wait, before you die, you must tell me more! It's gonna be his bit. Is he gonna do this in court? Unpublished story. Must know more, tell me everything. Saddle-san really is fired up now. Really an unpublished story? Under this very roof? Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see? I'd like to entrust this into your care for your while, Mr. Windibank. For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir. Not a farthing more. Although, I mean, Windibank. I'm sure, what's his full name? Do we have it yet? Hop Windibank. Hop. So obviously bank being there is a little like, that's, you know, pawnbroker, they're kind of like a bank, like Windy Bank? It sounds like a pun! But also like past names have sounded like puns too, like Pavlova, she had a pet, come on, that was so obvious. And then no, actually that's based off a real person, last name Pavlova. If it's a pun, I'll probably spell it out for us later. Not a farthing more. This is something of a great value indeed. The latest manuscript, recounting the adventures of one Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. I beg your pardon? A manuscript? You should deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do. I'm confident it'll be quite safe here. Plot twist is one he wrote himself instead of Iris, so it sucks. And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this. I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir, of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you. On my life. This is a Sholmes death flag, actually. He's gonna die, and in there is the secret to solving his murder. Don't. If Sholmes dies, I'm not playing the second game. That's it. It's all very strange. But actually, no. Sholmes has a costume for 2, doesn't he? He's safe. Okay, we're good. We're good. Could I ask you something? Ah, gentleman from the east, I see. That sable suit. Who could offer you 6 pence for it? Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat... Oh, sorry? Aha! But for your splendid attire, madam. 5 guineas, no less. The colors are exquisite, the design exotic. Eastern artistry in its finest, may I say? My 5 guineas, you say? How interesting. Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. Credit said that pawnbrokers are used rather like banks here in London. Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. Price their items and offer them a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure storage. If in that time they repay the original sum to me, plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned. What happens if they don't pay you the money? All the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me. Lots of hats. Actually, ladies first, this is where he does his business. Never sell items before the 2 months has passed then? That's right, ma'am, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all. The very idea, Mr. Windibank, is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually. The man who's telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning. Let us not forget that I've already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. What sort of measures? I engineered a simple device which Mr. Windibank has installed here in his shop. I call it the red-handed recorder. Tell me it's not the horn. Is that not so, Mr. Windibank? What's that deep sigh about? Red-handed recorder. What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are two just below the ceiling. See what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device. Where is the camera? That's not it. Like the camera. I do not see it. I do not see that camera anywhere. That camera's not there. It doesn't exist. Very astute. Is indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. Every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Here, I have an example I can show you. Okay, so the something's gonna happen here. If that wasn't obvious before. Print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop counter. Dog! Developed a special type of film so sensitive, produces a crystal clear image even in the darkness. I mean, that's extraordinary. Clearly see the counter and the door behind it, look. Was that a lipstick mark from Mary again? Did you see it on the paper? So you see, were someone to enter the premises with ill intent, the identity would be summarily exposed. But do not say that the photographic prints are taken at 30-minute intervals? Indeed, as you say, my dear madam. Then what if the incident were to occur in between times? One could only say that would be a cruel twist of fate. Must confess, your devices have been giving me some cause of distress of late. I beg your pardon, Mr. Windibank. Truly, they're anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. The cost of the films, I was thinking of that. Because, you know, every 30 minutes, that's 48 film things a day, right? Back then, that's gonna be pricey. And even now, that'd be kind of pricey, right? To print out a photo. You most graciously placed not one, but two cameras in my shop after all. Prints I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. He didn't think of that. Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbroker, you know? My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security comes at a price. Oh, heaven help us. Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin. Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Windibank. Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you try to pop. Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the very answer. Hey, you really think you gotta stop waving that gun around? Someone could get hurt. Fair not. Sorry? Well, I'm loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed. That's not really what I meant. Good day to you then, Mr. Windibank. Been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes. So, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last. How far in are we? 43. It's probably a good place to call it. Like, nothing's happened yet, but like, which for the sake of YouTube, that kind of sucks, right? But as a, like I've said, as an Ace Attorney game, I do like that. Just giving, you know, everything a little more time to breathe. But where am I at? Right here, okay. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys next time when probably the murder. I think the murder's gonna happen in like the next 15 minutes, right? But I don't know that, so I gotta play it safe. See you guys next time. Bye.